Hello to all my lovely learners. Welcome to Bloom and Grow Education. My name is Meredith Dickinson. This week we are focusing on good versus evil in our English classes. And last week we looked at good as in a good character. We looked at Disney princesses and how their character is created to be good, to be beautiful, to be honest, to have virtue. And then we looked at good settings and how we had a castle with some rainbows and some fairies and some flowers, and how all these create a good setting. And then lastly, we wrote a good narrative where something bad still happened to our character, but it wasn't a terrible thing. So we talked about how something bad has to go wrong in our story, like something has to occur that creates a problem for our character to overcome. And when we do that, that's how we get a story arc, which takes us on an emotional journey with our character and allows us to learn something. So this week we're doing evil. So we're looking at evil characters, evil settings, and then we're going to finish off with an evil narrative. So yesterday we had a look at an evil setting. So we described a haunted, scary castle. And today we're going to be looking at an evil character. So I've pulled some villains out of, mostly from Disney characters, but there's a few other things with the Lord of the Rings and stuff in there as well. And we're going to have a look at how we can describe our evil characters, the things that they have in common that allows us to know by looking at them that they're evil. And then we're going to choose a character of our own to describe. All right, let's get started. Okay, so let's start off by having a look at the characters which we're going to investigate today. So we've got Ursula from The Little Mermaid, we've got Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians, we've got the Evil Queen from Snow White, we've got Scar from The Lion King, we've got Jafar from Aladdin, and those are the Disney ones. And then moving in, we've got Harry Potter here, we've got Lord Voldemort, we've got Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Here we've got Senator Palpatine from Star Wars. And then we've got our quintessential witches. We've got the Wizard of Oz, Snow White again down here. And then this is just a random one that I found on the internet who looked very witchy to me. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the similarities that these four characters have. Now, we're looking for the things that let us know straight away looking at them that they're evil. All right, so first of all, the first thing that pops out at me is their eyebrows. So you see how they've got these eyebrows, these really arched eyebrows. They all have that in common. So these really arched eyebrows, and this sort of makes them their eyes look quite evil, and they're not open like a Disney's was. Remember those the Disney ones have those big bright eyes. These are the opposite. They're sort of scowling eyes, and they're sort of pinched down here and up like this, and they're sort of scowling at you all the time. So we've got scowling eyes and arched eyebrows. So let's get a piece of paper and start writing these down. So we've got scowling eyes and arched eyebrows. Now, these are not the start of sentences and they're not people's names, so they do not need capital letters. My computer is auto-correcting, but you need to write all of these in lowercase. All right, what else can we see? Now, Ursula is a little bit of an exception to this rule, but these characters, they're all very gaunt, they're very skinny. So do you see how she's sort of very skinny, she's got those, the cheeks sort of stick out. Same here with Jafar, Scar's the same. So they're very gaunt and skinny, like they're malnourished. So let's put that down as well. So let's put gaunt. So gaunt means that there's not much flesh in their bones, that their bones are sticking out. So gaunt, skinny, what was the other word I said? Malnourished, right? Because if you're living a good life, then you're eating lots of food, you're out in the sun, you're exercising. If you're living an evil life, then you're down in the dungeons cooking up evil things, so you don't have time to eat well and have lots of sun exposure. Right, now notice that many of them are women. Now I have tried to pull both men and male and female evil characters out, but if you have a think about the evil characters that you know, particularly in Disney, many of them are women. So sometimes that can be a good way of thinking about an evil character. Let's see, what else can we see? Let's move on down to some of these ones. We've got Voldemort, Gollum, and Senator Palpatine. And these characters, they're quite inhuman looking. They don't look like a human normally looks. So they've gone through this sort of, the evil has gotten into them to the point where it's changed them out of being a human being. So they're inhuman, which is the opposite of being human, because they have transformed into something else. And if you think about a lot of the evil characters in Disney, that they transform into something else. So in The Little Mermaid, Ursula starts off as the witch, but then she transforms into a beautiful woman in order to seduce Prince Eric. And then in like in Beauty and the Beast, the opposite happens, where the old crone arrives at the Beast's door and she's like, help me, and he says, no, be away with you. And so she transforms into a beautiful fairy or a beautiful witch or whatever she is, and that's when she curses him. So there's that transformation in and out of being human, whereas our lead characters, they don't ever change. The Disney princess is always a princess. That's all she ever is. And then we have, moving over here into the witch. So here we have this witch who's again that inhuman look. Inhuman look. So she's green. Humans aren't green. And we have that classic witch look. She's old, ugly, warts, wrinkly, haggard would be another good word. So these are all words which we can use to describe. See, notice how this witch is a bit stooped. Now these, Gollum is also stooped here, so is the senator. He's a little bit stooped over because he's sort of attacking. So a bit stooped. Scar is also a bit stooped as he looks over his shoulder. She's a bit stooped as well, so let's write that down, stooped. So when I say stooped, I mean that they're ready for a walking stick. All right, so that gives us a really good list of words that we can start to use to build our character. And I just noticed just here, it's in the eyes as well. So he's got these evil eyes. Gollum's got these giant eyes. His eyes are sort of yellow, like snake-like as well. So next to this, so let's put in human and evil eyes, because a lot of that is in their eyes as well. All right, so evil and maybe miscolored, or discolored, I should say, discolored, and odd. They're sort of odd-looking eyes. They're not normal-looking eyes. Okay, so let's look at something else. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to build our vocabulary. So we've got lots of words that we can use to describe our character. And then when we've got this big list of words, we can go yoink, 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 and write our character. And we don't have to think, oh, how am I going to describe them? Because we've just got the words there and we just have to pull them into our sentence. And we're going to get some more vocabulary by doing a simple Google search. So you're just going to do something as simple as words to describe an evil person, or destructive, hateful, heinous. So that means like evil. You did heinous crimes. Malicious, and you can hear maleficent, malicious. That means they did something really nasty. Ugly, unpleasant, vicious, vile. So there's some really good words there. So I'm going to take them. I'm just simply going to copy and paste that over into my list. And let's see if there's anything else. Evil synonyms, 18 words to describe bad people. So down here, this is quite good because it's giving you the definitions of what these words mean as well. You might not know what some of these words mean. Conniving, immoral, perverse, ferocious, tyrannical, devious, ruthless, faithless, treacherous, bloodthirsty, perfidious, rapacious, vicious, bigoted, degenerate, savage. All right, so let's choose some of these to pop in. So we're not going to use sadistic, but we could use ferocious, tyrannical, devious. They're good ones. So stop these and write them down. Don't write down sadistic, but write down some of these other ones. Ruthless, that's a good one. Treacherous, that's a good one. Vicious is a good one. Okay, so we've got these words here. If you haven't copied them down, then pause the video and copy these down. And then I want you to choose a character. So you can either do a Google search for evil character and or maybe evil Disney character, and that will give you a character which you can use to describe, or else you can choose one of mine to go back through the video. You can pause it wherever you would like to, whichever character you want to use. But I'm going to use this one because she's such a classic evil witch character. And all I'm doing is pulling out these words, and I'm going to use them to describe her. So there are a couple of ways that I could do this. The first one would be to go through her features. And I could say, the witch's eyes were scowling under her arched eyebrows. Her crooked nose had warts. Her ugly skin was old and decrepit, or old and malnourished, or old and gaunt. Her malnourished body was haggard as she stooped over the cauldron. Now that is going to be a good one if you're in year 1, year 2. From about year 3, you probably don't want to be doing it like this, because you need to be advancing the way that you're writing. So this is very simple. Do the eyes, do the nose, do the mouth, do the hair, do the skin, do the body. So you're just working your way through the body parts. Her eyes are this, her nose is this, her skin is this, her mouth is this. But that's quite a way of doing it that's suitable for young people. If you're an older child, so say from about year 3 on, you want to be doing it in a more mature way. So let's try something like this. The haggard, so you're still going to be saying the same thing, but you're not doing it in that stilted way where it's you've got a sentence stem and you're just filling in the stem. So you're still talking about her eyes and her nose and her mouth, but you're saying it in a more integrated way where it's not so stilted, where it's not so list-like. The haggard witch stooped over the cauldron. Her malnourished body showing her gaunt bones. Her old, ugly skin was marked with warts, and her crooked nose was bent from a break many years ago, from a savage break many years ago. Her vile eyes were the Colour of a snake. Pierced with a red lava center. All right, so now I've put in snakes because snakes are evil. Lava is evil, so it's like volcanoes. Volcanoes aren't good things. And she, have I used savage? And she looked savagely over her cauldron as it's boiled ferociously at the sound of her incantations. So obviously we haven't used every single word, but we've pulled some of them. Her vile eyes were the colour of snakes, pierced with a red lava center. So we've got her scowl, we've got her eyes, she's malnourished, she's got evil eyes, she's old, ugly, wrinkly. We've got haggard, she's stooped. And then we started to bring in some of these other words. We've got ferociously, ruthless is a good word. And then I brought in some other things which I know are evil, so like snakes and lava. So now I finished writing this, I'm going to do a quick edit. So the haggard witch stooped over the cauldron, her malnourished body showing her gaunt bones. I might switch that around. Her gaunt bones showing her malnourished body. I think that would be better if it was around that way. Showing her malnourished body. Her old ugly skin was pot marked. I think it's pot marked with warts, and her crooked nose was bent from a savage break many years ago. So savage it brings in that extra bit of evilness. Her vile eyes were the color of a snake's. I might make that the shape of a snake. Shape of a snake's. Pierced with a red lava center. And she looks savagely over her cauldron as it boils ferociously to the sound of her incantations. All right, so just because you've written it, once you've written it, you need to go back and edit it to make sure it makes sense. All right, so this is a more mature way of doing it, different to what's happened down here. So this is sort of year 1, 2, where you've got these sentence stems. Her nose was, her skin was. This is more integrated, and I've still talked about her eyes, I've still talked about her skin and her nose, but I've said it in a way that's more fluid and pulls together a nicer image. Okay, and that is the end of today's lesson. So now you get to go and write about your evil character, and I would love it if you sent it to me. I love to see my students writing. It makes me so happy to see all the wonderful things that you create. And I'll even pop it on my Facebook site if you'd like to, and that way all my other students can see how wonderful you are at your descriptive writing. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for your hard work. If you've enjoyed this lesson, please share it with your family and friends, and please like my Facebook page, Bloom and Grow Education, and subscribe to my YouTube page, also called Bloom and Grow Education, so that you can get all of my future lessons. See you next time.